Alright. So for the past 2 hours, I've been trying to play the Forgotten City. I was streaming it and recording it, and each time I've ran into a bug that turns my monitor off. I can't get it to turn back on, which forces me to restart my computer with the power button. That has corrupted it each time, both times. Since then, I've validated my files and checked for the same bug. I've checked them with two other streamers and they haven't found it yet. So, I've also checked if it's up to date currently. My drivers are, which they are. So, what I'm gonna try doing this time, I'm gonna try recording it, but not streaming it. And see if that gets me anywhere. Because, like, I've already gotten through about an hour and a half of this. Played for an hour and a half of this, and the first time it happened about an hour in. Second time, 5 minutes in. So, I'm gonna see if it works now with just the recording. Probably play for a half hour if it doesn't crash, and then upload it to YouTube. And I'll probably just do a little stream to inform what was going on. I've already posted a bug report. Okay, so I'll just delete this and restart. New game. I mean, it is an indie game. Well, a game from indie developers that just released. 1 second, I'll be right back. Sorry if I sound irritated. This is just kind of pissing me off a bit because I've just lost 2 hours. Whole 100 minutes
Hey,
of progress lost.
You're alive! When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Go with the same characters that I've had for the last 2. Email.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Hold on, I'm just checking if the recording's going good. Alright. Archaeologists, years of studying history give you occasional insights into the ancient world. Covert mission, soldier. You have a military-issued firearm, but only 10 bullets. You'll have to use them judiciously, since there's no way to get more. Others on the run from the law. Fugitive. Time on the run from authorities have made you quick on your feet, and you're 25% faster when sprinting. Amnesiac. Recent head trauma has increased your pain threshold, making you 50% harder to take down. Searching for ancient weapons.
You're an archaeologist? Then you'll definitely want to hear this. I don't know if it's exactly what you're looking for, but there are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him, so I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him? If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. I just... What do you want to know? Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey. It's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen.
Since I went through this twice already, this bit of dialogue.
You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is. You really don't remember? We're in Italy. This river is the Tiber. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. Al... Great. So you're ready to go look for Al? Thank you. The end... Oh, and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Alright. I'll just rush through here. The question is, again, I'm not gonna play this game until it gets addressed. Wait, I should probably leave it up long enough so people can read.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning. Al Worth.
Okay. Okay, what happened? Fixed permanently in place. There's a... Alright, so I made it farther than the second time. That's a good sign. I'm not out of the woods yet. Or out of the city. I'll just take it a bit slower now that I'm down here. Oh, so archaeologist insight is telling me, is translating it for me. Oh, that is so neat. Good thing that I chose it. because I don't know how to speak Latin or read it. Always remember, they're watching. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. God, it feels like there's a blade. Scraping against the ground. Alright, so I'll just preface some information. This game is based on a mod made for Skyrim, and it was so popular that they decided to make it its own full standalone game, The Forgotten City. I played the mod, and I found it to be very good. One of the best mods I've ever played. Even better than Skyrim. But it was kind of a bit felt a bit shallow, and its characters all felt one-sided. So I'm hoping this game will be better. It's made by a team of 3 people. There's the law. I have played the mod, so I generally know what's gonna happen unless they put a lot of twists into the game. A Roman gladiator mid-stride. What could have made a gladiator flee? Young Roman woman. Looks like she was begging for her life. Oh my god. You can knock them over? Huh. Curious as to why there's water dripping up there. I want to see if I can knock someone else over. Oh yeah, quick saving.
Why are you here?
Roman military commander attempting to scramble away from something. Oh my god. Roman legionary in a state of terror. Okay, I'll preface some wait, I'll just wait until later to preface that information. Can't move him. Roman woman who appears to be praying for help that never came. Don't think the gods can see you from down here. Oh, nice aqueduct. Nice old Roman aqueduct.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, that you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only 2 options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried.
Hold on. I just findings. Crouch toggle. Oh, huh? I'ma just swap these around because I'm guessing control is toggle crouch and that C crouch was the...
Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning.
Seriously, it's only just
Don't make the same
toggle?
mistake. Better to end it all now.
I
And
don't
find out
think
what
that.
awaits you beyond that portal.
I'd much rather prefer it being not toggle. Young Roman woman in a state of panic. I really like that detail they added. A Roman man on his knees as if begging his gods for mercy. The remains of a human, whoever it was, died a long, long time ago. Huh. Wouldn't it, since this was based, this is Rome and whatnot, a Roman city, or at least Vermont, the people were, that would make the skeleton around 2,000 years old. Kind of, doesn't bone, like, start to disintegrate after a few hundred, well, less than 100 years? And into the portal I go. Go. I'll take the dialogue a fair bit slower now since I'm here. A Roman relief depicting a great circular portal and two women. I wonder who they could be. I'll take it a fair bit slower since I've only been through this spot once.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine? Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess of springtime? You're not from around here, are you? And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you? One more time. Who are you, and what were you doing in that shrine?
Alright, last time I chose this option. I think I'm gonna go with this.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March? It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from, exactly?
Ooh.
CE? No idea what you're talking about. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule. And the punishment for breaking it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, are you coming? Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing.
Follow.
No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your pretty new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking her to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. Follow me.
Alright.
The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule.
It's Ian.
Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective.
Voice actor for
We
this
call it
guy.
decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name, to match a curious accent. But I digress. I see you have the piercing and astute eyes of Athena. You must be a woman of great learning. We're always happy to welcome another scholar to our little community. Equitia will be delighted to meet you, I'm sure. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft,
Nothing? Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to gold. We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass, trying to escape, bribery, infidelity, suicide? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. Barbaric? Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and engineers. We have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless warring tribes all across the Mediterranean and beyond, from Gallia to Judea. All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color of their skin or their sexual preference. Can you say the same? When our people are starving, they are given food rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault, and rape, as well as theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced, and you have the hubris to call us barbaric? Of course. What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? And besides, there are laws for their protection as well. On occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory, or condemned prisoners who would have been executed anyway. I do not see the harm. Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their fathers and husbands. You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down half of Rome last year? It's hard to blame the people for being angry about that.
Oh, who pinged me?
Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hardly unite all these warring tribes without a disciplined, formidable legion. Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you. You don't belong in our time, do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? Ah, I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you? Well, thank you for your candor, I suppose.
I mean, these two are pretty linear. Well, these three options are pretty linear, so I'm just gonna ignore them. There's just not much us.
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break the golden rule? Wonderful. Now,
All right.
I need you
Now
to
I can
investigate
dive
the city,
into this
talk to everyone, help them if it will win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation, but I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right. If you're snooping around in my possessions, you're wasting your time.
Alright.
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare. Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want?
Well, she's being blunt about it.
I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our customs. Now, remind me, why are we having this conversation? You know, some people say it's the creation of an all-seeing God who's watching everything we do. But what kind of an awful, incompetent God would let my sister go missing on his or her watch? Did you hear that? Curse you, you coward! Where is my sister? What do you have to say for yourself? No response. Nothing. That's what
Wow.
I thought.
She's a bit cynical.
I'm telling you, this mysterious god of ours has to be asleep on the job. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is exploiting to frighten us into
am I gonna
behaving.
get dialogue? Seriously, I can't say anything about...
I suppose we will. I trust.
Alright, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get some water.
Ah, you've returned. If I did, I'd have led these people out of here already. Ask them.
Ah.
Good.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you? What now? I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. Daughter, I should say. And the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals. I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl and pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitive tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose. I don't see why not.
That's all. I'll review this later.
Of course.
Ave. A new face. Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?
Fear is proof
Oh
of a
my.
degenerate mind.
I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality or courtesy ask, "What is your story?" The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here? Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seemed odd to you? older. I see.
Hmm.
I wonder if... No. I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others about how they arrived here too? I really think you should. Go around and ask them what they remember and see if you notice any patterns.
Alright.
Good. Thank you. But please be careful. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too.
Yeah, isn't Livia the one at...
Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair.
I'm trying
She
my
was
best not
always
to
so
skip
chatty,
dialogue,
always seeking
even
out
if I've
newcomers
read them,
and asking them
seen
where they
before.
were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help. But she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the golden rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw, and that it broke her. I just don't want to see that happen to you. So be careful, will you? Thank you. Now, go and follow the thread of truth through this labyrinth, and come back to me if you discover any patterns. Come back to me. Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
As always, priestess.
Any news about Scintilla, Navia, or Kabash?
No sign of any of them, I'm afraid. But we do have a newcomer. Strangely dressed woman. Pretty, though. Funny accent, too.
A traveler from a faraway land, then?
Seems that way.
Then let's make sure she feels welcome, shall we?
Of course, priestess.
Does Horatius... That's just a golden rule.
Give me a
Alright,
moment.
only two or
Sorry
maybe
I'm
three
such a
more
mess.
after this.
I
only
just
two
lost
more
a
people I have
patient
to talk to, and then
and
I'm
a
in
dear
new
friend.
content.
Julia. She was a good woman.
No, now it's fine. I can't afford to wallow here. And I need the distraction. What's on your mind? She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall, but there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing.
So, with this,
And now I'll never know who poisoned her,
I have an
or
option.
how they
If I
managed
ever
to do
trigger
it
the
without
golden
breaking the
rule, which I
golden
most
rule,
likely
or
will,
why she cursed that
I can
snake's
always
cruel
run down
black
there
eyes
if I can
with her
remember
dying
and
breath.
grab the thing before going through.
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get me that silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. and I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen, because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that genetricum fututo and scratching his eyes out. Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to worry you, but no, that is definitely not normal. There was one other person who claimed she could hear the statues talking to her. But that was Nevia, and she went a little mad. Anything about what? Well, come back.
Alright. Huh, interesting how the robes are still colored and not of gold. That's a bit fascinating. Indeed I can, and that's just a touch creepy.
Hey, Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Dacius, I'm not making you a bow.
Welcome to my
You
humble
know
store.
why.
Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I. And I must say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most extraordinary. Leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching, and such a curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know, from which exotic part of the world do you hail?
I'll go with this.
And now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps? My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum. A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself. I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and droning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most exquisite wine money could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa. Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am.
Fascinating, a stranger. I'm just checking. Good. Audio's still going. Nope, no issue yet.
You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting
What I'm
shop
gonna
at all?
do is, after this, I'm gonna end the video and restart the video. So in case the issue happens again, I'm not gonna lose another full hour of progress.
I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, The more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree? Anything you like.
Alright, so I'm just gonna do that right now. I'll splice this back into... so it's one continuous video. Alright, recording's going again. Alright, good. Audio's is going. Back to the game.
Shh! Not so loud! What are you playing at? Have you not been told about the last attempt? Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me.
Ooh.
Ah.
Okay, just double checking.
Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bathhouse. See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series of ladders and climb one's way out. They have! I am getting to that. There was an attempt, made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tail ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say, it is best to not even discuss it aloud.
Fascinating. Well, discussing it doesn't seem to trigger it, but attempting it does trigger the golden rule.
I hope that our paths cross again.
Alright. Now where's this other...
Sometimes I stare at the great temple on the bluff, and I think... What? A new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. You arrived on a sad day, friend. What with Julia's death? I wish we could have met under better circumstances. Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people, that kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
I've already read through this, so I'm just gonna go with the architecture because that provides some interesting
Gladly.
dialogue.
Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake, and allows us to fish and farm. Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it. You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Okay, I'll go
Oh,
for
I'm
it.
glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek. Well, yes, that could be the reason. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell. Of course. Oh, it means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the Golden Rule. Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least, I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong. It's not just graffiti. I have quite the collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists. Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the Golden Rule. What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused. Come back and...
Alright. I'm gonna skip the dialogue with Decius for now so I can get on to other things. Alright, now that I'm at new stuff, I should have done this once I got to new stuff. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna end the recording, restart it, I'm gonna splice it into when I start editing it. So that there's no gap, well, little to no gap. Now that I'm thinking about it, how long have I been going for? A full hour. I'll go with another half hour of playing. If it doesn't cause the issue to... So they are still alive in there, huh? But if the issue doesn't happen, I'll try streaming it again. And if it happens, then it's an issue with streaming. Don't steal anything, don't hurt anyone. Whoever wrote this didn't get a chance to finish any, evidently. Oh. Odd. You mind moving out of the way? Huh. Interesting. Now, so this is the slums.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
Let the buyer beware, huh?
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Some crowd the forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives. They never do. The bloodless shadows. This is their punishment. Help me? You cannot help me. I have seen things. A pattern, a terrible pattern. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. Pandora's box must stay closed. I'll say no more. You think you wish to know, but you do not. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. Pandora's box must stay closed. I'll say no more. The newly arrived are ignorant of the road before them.
Nice pillar you're trying to clean.
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before, a certain learning and sophistication.
63.
Ugh, coming on a bit strong, don't you think? I take back what I said. suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern?
Well...
Ugh, let it go. Nothing's going to happen between us.
Ah.
Certainly, for 10 denarii. How embarrassing.
Well... I'm gonna try streaming this again. I'm gonna save. And I'm gonna... Okay. I'll stop the recording just for the sake, since I just saved. For consistency's sake. The last 2 times I've tried streaming this, it caused it to crash. The first time an hour in, second time 5 minutes in. Each time I've restarted. So this is my 3rd attempt at this. And I'm doing a few things to ensure that I don't lose everything and have to restart. I've saved the recordings a few times so that it doesn't get corrupted. And I'm gonna be utilizing the save system instead of restarting from now on, so I don't have to go through everything. And for the stream's sake, haven't done much aside from what I've already done before. I've arrived here, talked to Galerius, went to the villa and talked to the magistrate, and from there I talked to, what was her name? The person in the temple, tending to the body.
I need your help.
Okay. And then from there I talked to the merchant, the tailor, who had new dialogue. I haven't talked to Decius, but then I came down here to the slums, talked to Livia, the madwoman.
Ixion turns.
And Aurelia, and got rejected by her, getting this achievement. And so here I am. The only way out is whoever wrote this was interrupted, perhaps tragically. I'll go speak to Galerius. Huh. A Roman shield, known as the scutum. And a banner. Wait, Horatius. Oh! Huh. I do not want to take that. Examine. Garum, a fermented fish sauce used as an ointment. Alright, just... Okay, things are still good here. Good, good, good. I'll go speak to Galerius if I can find him down here at the farm. No. What's that? A piece of pottery, I guess. I'm really curious as to why all the statues... Don't trample him. Where is he? Oh! What's this? Goose eggs. Glad that didn't trigger anything. I wonder if chucking those eggs at someone would break the rule. Anything over there? I'm trying to be thorough about this so I don't miss much. It says take, not steal, so... That'll be useful for bribing someone. Well, not technically bribing, but just getting their aid. Am I back? I'm back in the slums, aren't I? Yeah. Surprised that that statue's still standing up in that pose. Another bottle of wine, eh? Ooh, and is this a boat in? This appears to be a boat in choppy water. Interesting. That? I can't tell what that is. The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. So it seems this is either Livia's house, as that is her catchphrase. The bloodless shadow wanders without flesh or bone. Or it's someone who was like Livia in the past. Oh, so this is what triggered it. Is that a... What outfit is that? Is that... That looks like Roman legionary armor, so... So it's not the Romans' first time being here. Woo! Aw, what? Alright. Just gonna save. Where was the way? Ah, through here. Ooh! A stairwell up. Must be creepy living here with those statues. I'm guessing I can either find the key for this or lockpicks. Oh, this is someone's property. Stone disc, a circular stone disc with a symbol of a fish carved into it. Looks like it might be religious in nature. Wooden carving with the symbol of a fish. It might look religious in nature. Huh. Is this like some makeshift shrine? check back here. Oh. Excuse me. Sorry. Ooh, another chest. More denaries. Can I use this? No. Oh. That's a gruesome way to go. Was this another way, an event that caused the Golden Law to be broken? I'll say that it was, so there's been twice now. Ah, theater. What did the Romans pronounce it as theater? An old scroll in which the author makes the case against the existence of the Golden Rule. The Myth of the Golden Rule by Dorotus the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for the city, for our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion. He deserves our admiration, but here I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, and deserving of our contempt. I'm gonna just relieve him of that, as I doubt he'll need it. I've seen this model 3 times. I kind of wish they might have spiced it up a bit more, but it is a team of 3 people working on this. After all. Was that wine? Nope, just a jug. With Tia.
Ave again. Did you find what you need? Come back to me.
Guess I'll...
Hello? Hello? My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up. I don't know. I don't remember things so good. I think it's just because I was looking for treasure. Yes, but I wasn't. I was just looking. They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy. Yes.
Liability.
They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me?
Alright, Magistrate Sentius explains Dooley was locked up to prevent him from trespassing. I'm ready for you in relation to your incorrigible antisocial behavior arising from your session with alleged lost treasure. While I'm sympathetic to your plight at the passing of your guardian, Hannibal, weeks ago, I wished to impress upon you an important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you misremember. More importantly, since you haven't, on several occasions, been caught trespassing, including around the cisterns, which are strictly off limits to all citizens, I have reluctantly come to the conclusion that you are a liability to this community and must have your freedom limited, lest you break the golden rule. It is my hope that this letter will assist you to remember why you are incarcerated, should you experience further lapses in memory.
What does it say? My treasure! My friend Hannibal used to look after me. And he said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns, but when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me, except my friend Galerius and Ek, the priestess lady. She's a nice lady. Hannibal said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
Let me go.
Galerius already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what. Like Galerius, he's nice. I like Galerius. He made me a doll and everything. If you help make him magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was, just that it was way up high and very precious.
I'll see what I can do.
Bye-bye.
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's going to break the golden rule. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise. Thank you. He's still in there. I have to hide. Find me in this Hear what? What? We don't have time for this. The shrine is collapsing!
Oh my god. Well...
Fabia, no! Oh god, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh, Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl.
Oh, now I feel bad. The boys tried to warn me.
I can't believe she is dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into that empty shrine, and the next moment she is lying dead under a pile of rubble. The gods are cruel and unjust. She was like a daughter to me. I'm sorry, friend. It's not right for me to lay my burden upon you.
I feel so bad now. Oh.
Stop right there.
I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood? Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place? Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your claws into me. I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult. Oh, don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered. You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret?
How did he even get?
So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
I feel like if I don't start lying, it might cause the golden rule to break.
Another lie. So you really do believe that? Fascinating. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues? You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me. Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our God told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quinctius is. Do not waste it. Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process. Who are you to challenge what the Emperor says? Were you there? Do you have spies and scouts all over Rome like he does? No, you do not. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not? Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
I should not say that. I know this won't get me anywhere.
Well, I'd say that's rather convenient, since I was planning to kill you all anyway.
The many
Many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Well, I'm gonna grab that. So wait, can they not affect me? Since I'm from the... not from this... Well then... Since I'm not from this... Yeah, I don't think they can... Oh, no, they can! Bob and weave, bob and weave. Woo! Okay, nothing on him. Well. Alright. That's my first time having the lobby triggered. Am I healing? Yeah, I am. Okay. I'm gonna do this for consistency's sake. In case it crashes, or, well, does whatever happened the past 2 times. I'm gonna save it, end the recording, but I'll keep the stream going. Oh, well, it's done. Looper! Loop through time once.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are
Wait, can
and
I say...
what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Oh, just so hilarious.
Oh, I guess how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
Bacchus?
Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Yes! A zip line.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
I'm liking Galerius a lot.
Alright, see you around.
I need to check something though. Okay, fastest zip line. Okay. Oh! Wait, did I grab it? Good.
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium, but that Culus cumulatus decius won't give it to me.
Oh man,
What? Quick, give it here. Yulia, you need to swallow this. Here, let me help you.
Oh my god. This is neat.
Hopefully in a moment she should be able to breathe normally. That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed this exact thing and at this exact moment? Are you some kind of oracle?
I'll go with this option.
Look, if you don't want to tell me, I won't look a gift horse in the mouth. But no matter. That was like the gods hearing my prayers and
Every time I go
intervening.
through the time loop, I must be sure
You
to
just
grab
saved a
that
person's
resin.
life, and you should be proud of yourself. She might even be able to thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her, and who she meant when she was muttering about that snake's cruel black eyes. In the meantime, I'm happy to help you with whatever it
So
is
now
you
I've
need.
gained her trust.
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. I'm tired and out of my depth. and miserable
now I
all
can
the time.
view the
But I'd
dialogue of
rather
it.
take this on
That's
myself
been
than
missed.
let one of you lot mess it up. My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner. So I waited for the right time. As he prepared to evacuate our, I could barely see. For the next thing I remember, I was with. It's all right. And while there's no shortage of. Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician, but she was the closest thing we had down here. And she was good, too. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. This changes everything, she kept saying. But I had no idea what she was talking about. The last time I saw her, the last time any of us saw her, she was muttering to the statues, like she could talk to them. And then she shut herself in the palace, barred the door from the inside, and nobody's seen her since. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange that she doesn't want anyone else to know about it. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving a troubling problem, a real thorn in the paw situation. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints are inflamed and he's in constant pain. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off, and I worry he'll end up losing his temper. I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. Thanks, Sure. Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then surely they would have broken the golden rule, and so maybe it's best we don't discuss it. Glad. That's a
Ah, she's up. I'm gonna save the game.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, I'm still a bit out of it. But thanks for trying to help me, I suppose. Was there something you wanted? Lucretia says I'm supposed to rest. As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's just not safe for me to talk about it. Please, no more questions. The golden rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be cruel, but Malleolus and Claudia are far crueler.
Don't know who either of those. Well, Malleolus is. I think he's a part of the Villa group, but no idea who Claudia is.
Please, just leave me alone. Thank you. You mean my life story? Oh, well, I grew up as part of a big family in Rome. Me and 3 older sisters. Our father found good husbands for my sisters, but I wasn't, cut out for that kind of life. So he found me a job as a scribe for a prominent merchant. It was a good life for a while, until 7 months ago when the fires came. My colleagues and I worked desperately to try to protect our warehouse. We must have had 100 workers passing buckets of water, chanting prayers to Vulcan, but they fell on deaf ears. The fire was relentless and it claimed everything and everyone. Well, almost everyone. My employer told me to grab what valuables I could and flee for the Tiber with the crowds. I remember diving into the river and then... The next thing I knew, I was waking up on the riverbank not far from here.
Memory lapse.
Thank you. But to be honest, sometimes I think dying in that fire might have been a blessing, given what's happened since. I can tell you, but it's a long story. All right. I'd been here about a week when it dawned on me I'd be trapped here for the rest of my life. I could hardly breathe, and I knew I had to get out somehow. So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done anything. And then I learned her asking price. 1,000 denarii. She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much. So she suggested I take out a loan from Malleolus. And I did. I'm not proud of it, but yes, I was surprised he agreed to it, to be honest. But I was so happy to have the money I didn't question it. I had to sign an agreement saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. But I figured I'd be out of here so soon it wouldn't matter. I paid Aurelia, and she gave me her so-called way out. Do you want to know what it was? Hemlock.
Oh, jeez. I personally know what hemlock is, but I'll just do this for people who don't know.
It's a deadly poison made from a plant. Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. Of course, I demanded my money back, but she refused. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me with those cruel black eyes and she laughed. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying him back. Only, he didn't seem upset or surprised at all. In fact, he just thanked her. And that's when I realized the two of them had planned the whole thing from the beginning. That's what I said to the magistrate. I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I'd signed over my labor for 30 years and there was nothing he could do. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't submit, I'd break the golden rule.
I could potentially
and I couldn't be responsible for all those deaths.
I'd have to do that in the final
he
round.
locked me in his villa, confiscated everything I owned as collateral, and made me wear immodest, humiliating outfits while I worked day in, day out. His wife Claudia was just as bad. She sent me to work on an endless stream of futile, demeaning tasks. I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours, only for her to pour slop on it and hiss, "You missed a spot." Those two took everything from me. But they forgot to confiscate one thing. My hemlock. I just wanted it to be over. But it seems I messed that up too. Should have drunk all of it. I brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met, and tried to swindle the other. I don't know how I could have been so stupid. When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for me. He'll escort me back to their villa, and I'll be right back where I started. Only this time, I won't be able to lull myself to sleep at night with the thought of a permanent solution. Honestly, it would have been better if the poison had been allowed to run its course. I doubt it. It seems this is the fate the gods have chosen for me, for trying to escape. At least until someone breaks the golden rule. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. A lot. But it doesn't matter. I made a suicide pact with Ulpius last night. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus and Aurelius set the same trap for him a month after they did it to me.
Oh, so
he and I are in this together. He's probably already thrown himself from the bluff into Malleolus's villa by now. If so, I'd never be able to live with myself, knowing I broke my promise to him. I doubt you could make it up to the bluff in time. I don't know who you are, or why you seem so determined to help me, but...
She said 1,000
Thank you.
for...
All right, but please...
So I'm not gonna be able to do either than this.
All right.
May Apollo keep you safe.
Ave. A new face. Ave. And interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me. Yes, I suppose that could be something. But then most of us... What else? Yes, I understand many of our friends were carried here by a river current. What else? That's true. I know I wasn't entirely sure how I wound up here. It's as I feared. I think I understand what poor Livia has been going through. Let me ask you this. Did you happen to encounter a stranger in the forest before you arrived here? And did you happen to catch her name? I see. And was this Karen by any chance wearing a hood? Because I've seen her before. There's something I think you should see. I think you'd better follow me to the baths. What? How could you know that? And why are you talking to me instead of doing something about it? Please, go and stop him, and come back to me once we're no longer in danger.
Oh, I'm loving
You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths. You have to do something. Thank you. I have to hide.
What? Why?
All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Yes, I saved her.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you...
I hope that doesn't trigger the rule. I don't know. I want to do more things before then, so I'm gonna load back, just in case. I feel like he's gonna trigger it again. No. Fuck it. Let's see what happens. Oh! Oh! Oh!
Filthy, lying degenerate.
Oh my my god! Ooh, that's a nice looking bow. Emperor Nero has ordered the execution of a cultist named Quintitius. Oh. Now, she said the bakery.
You there? I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but know. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. But I would like to propose.
Interesting. He's tried to bug. I can't remember the person's name. The one behind me who runs the clothing. No, can't remember which shop. He's been trying to bug him for a bow.
Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues? And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly 1 or 2 of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold. Now, of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the 2 of us, half of infinite wealth is still infinite.
Inflation is a thing.
Interested? Look, I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested or not? Oh, I'm not suggesting we use such a bow on people. There's no profit in breaking the golden rule. Excellent. So the first question is, now I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana?
Not really.
No problem. Allow me to explain. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking you know what. Oh, gods no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away.
Alright.
When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger? Only because he was silly enough to get caught.
Wow. Oh, I don't like this guy at all.
So,
I have a feeling I could potentially do this. Like, if I accidentally trigger the golden law, I could try and grab the bow.
Wonderful.
Oh, wait!
This is a...
Oh! I forgot
And
that he
here
was
we
gonna
are,
cover
a
in
gold
gold.
leaf bow.
Well, I might just keep... Oh! I actually quite like the looks of it now.
I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana. It's just at the end of the street on the left.
May the gods not watch over you. Now, where's the bakery? Oh, so that's the guy who he was asking for a bow. Ah, the bakery's here.
You took care of him? An accident? So, it's over?
So you
Oh, God.
I'm guessing you can't
It's
actually
such a relief.
get that assassin
I really thought we were all going to die.
without him going into the shrine.
I do have a question, though. That shrine, the one I was going to hide in, did you know it was going to collapse? So you kind of murdered him then?
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Well, I can't grab it. Oh, I died. Well then, my first death in this game. Wonder. Can you actually see the statue if you die? Oh dear, where I reckon after talking to him, do I have the golden bow? I do. So that's okay. Admitting I knew counts as murder. Okay, that's interesting.
You took care of an accident. I do have a question, though. I don't understand. Oh, I see. I should probably keep my big mouth shut then. Sorry. I promise, nobody else will ever know what you did. But I know. That was really clever. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Oh, speaking of which, welcome. I'm Fabia. Sorry I was a bit frantic before. Need anything? Oh, there's not much to tell. I mostly just bake bread and try to help out where I can. I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me, a fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius, a white rooster, then a goat. But nothing worked. In the end, they decided I'd do better outside the city. Clean air in the countryside would do me good, they said. But after about a day in a carriage on the Appian Way, I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep, because when I opened them again, I was in a forest by a river. I suppose the driver took off with his fee and left me for dead. Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help, stumbled across the trapdoor temple, and here I am.
No.
Oh yeah, I suppose you're right. Hadn't really thought about it. But the gods are mysterious and powerful. Who knows what their plans are for us? Terrible shame, that is. Maybe this'll help. Late last night, I was cleaning my oven when I heard some noises outside. The forum's usually dead quiet at that hour, so I came out to see what was going on. To be honest, I thought maybe poor old Dooley had got out of his cell and was snooping around again. So I popped my head out and saw someone in front of Virgil's shop. I couldn't tell who. It was too dark. I called out to them, but they just turned and ran off without a word. All I remember is they ran past a lit torch and the light glinted off something metallic. Armour, I think.
Armour?
So I suppose it could only be one of 3 people. Horatius, Domitius or Rufius. I hope that helps.
Well, that narrows it down.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna go take a bathroom break. But before I do that, I'm gonna save the game and end my own recording. And restart the recording.